Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. Today is August 17th, 2023, Thursday. Welcome to the High Noon Show. Here we go. As you see from the title and the thumbnail, what you're about to listen to, I doubt you'll see anybody. I don't know if they want to come on and show themselves. There they are. But we're going to break down a Texas DWI, what it would look like for the hang on. What it would look like if you went into an attorney's office specialized in DWI, and then you had to break everything down, and they did the what we call the intake interview to determine whether or not it's feasible for them to accept your case and represent you. Basically, this is what it would look like. This is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a licensed bar attorney. I have no affiliation with any state bars, any federal bars, nothing. Okay. This is purely hypothetical entertainment only information because I like to study law. So, if hypothetically I were an attorney or a paralegal or a legal secretary or a legal assistant in a traditional law office, and this is all hypothetical, and the potential client came in, sat down, this is what the interview would look like. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you. I've been through multiple DWI intake interviews with some of the best DWI attorneys in Houston. So that's the bona fides for this video. All right, I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna bring my guest on. I just want to make sure that him and I are on, all on the same page as far as what information he's going to release is sensitive and non-sensitive. That's all we're going to go over. While I pause, please like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. You can always reach me at the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com, as well as the fearlessfloydshow.com, my website. I have merch, books, classes, all kind of stuff on there. Please go check that out. And I am on almost every social media platform that's worthy to be on as the Fearless Floyd Show. So come find me, come check it out, hang out with us on Telegram. That's the backbone of my whole brand, I guess. So there you go. Let me pause this. I'm going to bring our guest on, and we are going to rock and roll with a Texas DWI. And I'm back with our guest to discuss the DWI. Now, some names, places, persons, and things have been changed to protect the innocent, not for any type of untruthfulness or anything like that. This is a case that happened in Texas. We're not going to be specific exactly where it happened, just because it is a pending litigation. So we're going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to use any of his sensitive information. That's what we were discussing and just figuring out how we're going to approach this. So from now on, he's John Doe, and it is in ABC County, Texas. And what we're dealing with is a DWI. However, a travesty of events occurred when you hear this story, and one thing led to another, and it is cascaded into this basically not even a snowball, the opposite of a snowball rolling downhill, and it's chasing him, basically what it looks like. So we're going to break it all down. So basically, let's start with the beginning. So we need a timeline. When did this happen?
Yeah, it was about say 3+ years ago, 3 years ago.
Okay, 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
you're under 4909 or 4904 Texas Penal Code for DWI. but that's not the only charge that they gave you. So go ahead and start and tell us a story of where this happened, not geographically, but in a general description, and tell the story. Anything I need to pin you down on or correct you or lead you in a different direction, I'll break in. But go ahead and tell everybody your story.
Yeah, so good old Texas. So what happened was kind of a funeral procession at a um, family's home, and there was a lot of vehicles and cars all lined up and there in a neighborhood. Large neighborhood, land. Um, Vehicle was parked with string of a bunch of other vehicles. There was an
Just
alleged.
like if you're standing at the end of the street and you're looking down the street, it's just a sea of cars. Obviously, somebody's down there is having an event, and you can't really pinpoint one car out of another from yours from anybody else's, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah. I would say there's close to 20 vehicles there. And the so I guess what happened, someone called with actually weirdly enough, the same last name, that said there was some type of uh, vehicle that may or may not have allegedly matched the description, that was driving potentially recklessly in the
Had a
neighborhood.
911 call.
Uh, Supposedly, yeah.
Have you requested that through a FOIA?
So I had an attorney for a couple years. He had a lot of that information, and then the court had withdrew him because they thought,
That's your file. He has to give it to you according to the state bar rules.
know,
Ask for it. You want a copy of it. He has to retain that copy for
yeah,
five,
I'm in the
five
point of
years.
still in motion hearings and heard. And so
So
yeah, anyways, what
hold
happened
on.
was,
Let me back you up, okay? Because one of the
yeah,
most important things in your entire case is that 911 call.
right.
Okay. Who made it? What was the actual text in that 911 call? What was the probable cause? You need to know that. And, as far as you know, it's just a car. May not even been your car. They could have went and got the incorrect car. And unless you have that actual printout, that's what you need to get. So how you do that is you contact the public information officer for the law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement agency where that 911 call went into.
The thing is that that station no longer exists.
Station or law enforcement agency?
That agency.
Well, the 911,
I
all 911,
and I'm sure, yeah, that's kind of somewhat universal. That
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Heard
It's somewhere.
the
I can't tell you where. I don't know. I'm not familiar with your area in that aspect. I can
right.
just tell you who you need to ask for is the public information officer. So start at the top. The county sheriff, he's the chief law enforcement officer in the county. So I'd start
Mhm.
public information officer and tell them you want the 911 call for that time and date, that address.
Okay. And then yeah. Supposedly, I mean, the funny thing was the cops had rolled through before any of and all of that, and then after the fact, anyways, we were outside with a bunch of people, and I didn't even know that there was cops there, because there was no lights, there's no anything. They were actually parked, all the way down, and had came back up and were talking to another group of people. And at that point, um, I was in and outside the house, right? So I went back towards the house, and then I hear some guy running after me, and Yeah. And then, because supposedly connecting that car, um, yeah. And then, basically, you know, telling me to, and once I figured out it was a cop, I mean, there's no point to do anything but sit down and put your hands up. And, and then by that point, they said,
So,
"Are
so
you
you
lying?"
walked off from this group, and all of a sudden these cops that you didn't know were cops start approaching you.
Yeah, I didn't know because they were a little bit farther down because it was kind of it's a larger property, and there was a multiple large groups of people out there,
Right.
and I hadn't known that they had pulled up and then were out talking,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, I mean, it was just it all happened really quick, and so supposedly someone had called. Whether it, the exact description or not match my vehicle or not is to be determined. And
So
then by that point, I'm heading back towards in the house,
right.
right?
My question immediately is how did they get A and B and connect you to A and B with your car and you?
Well, they had saw they when they went by earlier,
Uh-huh.
right? They
Right.
had saw me out. They saw me out there by that car, and so I think, however, that connected
Right.
because someone called with the same last name as me, which is super weird.
That's why you
And
need that 911 call. Your
yeah,
everything has to go back to the fundamental um inception when the whole thing started. Okay. There's going to be a police officer sworn statement, the police report that they had to
right.
file with the intake division for the district attorney's office for the county that you're in. Okay. That's how they get the complaint, the real
Hmm.
complaint gets filed in the clerk's record, district clerk's record, and then take that complaint and then they go get the indictment. That's how that works. So you have to get that from the arresting law enforcement agency, from the public information officer. The 911 call can be from a different agency, i.e., the county sheriff, and you got arrested by the city police or a constable or metro police, something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
So it may be two different entities that you're having to deal with to get that information. But that's what you're trying to do, is always go back to that fundamental, because that's when you start build the building blocks to what kind of case do they really have? What do they really have? Because the only way you can fight their case against them is to know what they have. And they're going to keep stuff back from you. So you want to get everything that they have. You
And
already
I've
know.
asked for Brady's rule discoveries. I've asked for,
Right,
Rosio
right. But this is
discoveries.
all
I've asked for,
information that you can get through Freedom of Information, Texas Open Records Act. Absolutely.
yeah, that'd be,
Yeah.
uh,
Don't rely on an attorney to go get all this stuff for you. Go get it yourself. I'm telling you, this is
right. No, they've already denied
okay.
a lot of my uh, attempts to get information.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
obviously the judge and I mean, my perception is that, the judge and the prosecutor are working together.
Yeah. Let's keep that on the down low. I know what the
And
corrupt counties in Texas are. I can name them on two hands.
yeah,
Yeah, the most.
right. And obviously, hopefully they're impartial. So it is what it is. But I try not to hope and cope. Anyways,
All right.
so
So
yeah, this has been
you're walking in the house and you get tracked down by these cops.
right. Here's someone, coming after me, kind of puts a fight or flight into me, right? And
Right.
so I start going quicker into the house. Um, and then by that point, once I figure out, what's going on, and then he identifies himself, right? I sit down and put my hands up. Um, but it's very embarrassing to have happen in front of
Oh, I
family.
can imagine.
And And then every time, oh, why are you resisting? Well, I'm not resisting, you know. Well, you were evading. Okay. Okay. And then yeah, a purse near my vehicle, right? In it had supposedly a cartridge in it as well. Well, that's yours as well. So I had my so yeah, and then
What
I
gave him
refused.
what gave him the probable cause to search the vehicle after they already had you in custody?
Well, I think the probable cause was because they
I don't
they
know.
judged.
Hold on. I don't want to know. I don't care what you think. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
the record says. What was their probable cause? If you don't know that answer and you just like, I think, and you're going to live with that, no, you need to go
Right.
find that answer out.
Well, usually if there's some type of evading, it creates an opening for
Oh,
them
bro, yeah,
to do that.
you're, yeah, you're talking to, yeah, no, I already know.
And so, I mean,
Um,
that's my understanding.
yeah, it's just a big exaggeration. They're trying to throw everything they can at you to,
And
get.
whether, Emago is, there's always potential suppression things and stuff that can happen with some of this, but uh, they haven't given.
This is what all Texas district attorneys count on. In Texas,
Hmm.
95% of every felony charge is plea bargained out.
Right. I mean, they honestly offered me a decent plea bargain right at one point in time, and then at that point, then I challenged everything under the sun, and I told them, yeah. And
Where you
so now,
at? 10?
yeah, but and now at this point, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm willing to go all the way and suffer with the whatever consequences, of
That
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 decision.
literally could be two tens stacked on top of each other. What they call consecutive, not concurrent.
Yeah.
You do the 10, then you got to go back and do the next 10.
Well,
Even if you make parole, you're still stuck out. You got to go do the next 10.
I mean,
Stupid.
initially his whole thing was, the most that he could give me was 2 years.
No, there's a 2 to 10.
Mm.
Cartridge is third degree felony. Evading arrest, I believe, is third degree felony. Child
So
endangerment knows a third degree felony.
yeah.
DWI is
So
just a class B misdemeanor.
right. So I, I'm I'm aware of what is being put forth.
Right. That's your
Um,
third degree felony 210.
right.
And I tell you that because, I'm sitting in jail. Actually, I was in prison doing a 60-year sentence for my third DWI. And my dingbat wife, now ex-wife, got a DWI with her child in the vehicle. So she got exactly what you got. And so, yeah, I'm firsthand, I know the whole deal.
Yeah. And who they're claiming was in there, right, was a girlfriend's brother who was there at the grandma's house with his parents there.
So they just
So
like
so
almost
was
pulled
it
some random kid and said that
so
you
it's like
endangering
yeah,
this
so it's
child.
like, okay, so how is something that I'm not in possession of nor in charge of and is directly in a safe place in an endangerment? Like, oh yeah.
All right.
Um, I don't
So
think that
you need the
needs to be
911 tape. You need the police officer sworn statement. Uh,
yeah, I have his complaint. Obviously they don't make claims.
well, you need the sworn statement.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, I
you
have that, and
you
he
you
was deposed at a certain point in time. I still have to get that back from my lawyer.
okay? Yeah. and get that file. All if I don't know how many attorneys you've had, but they all, if you tell them if I have to come up there and bring my own paper, whatever I need to do to get my file, that's your
Yeah,
file.
I've been sue juris for the last probably year. So
All right. Be careful using that verbiage, terminology, and iconology with your filings because I got people going through this, and I keep telling them, you know, yeah, you may be doing the right thing, putting stamps and giving it equity and, marking through it and taking it to the post office and getting them to frank it and, signing it, sue juris. The problem with that is they're getting tired of it. They don't want to see it anymore. If it's not standardized, hey, this is legal stuff, and they're training the staff to even see it. They don't even have to read it. They just say, "Okay, it's got a stamp on it." It's one of those sovereign citizen things. Boom, oh, let's go over there in that stack. And I think that's what they're doing with everybody. That they're not even reading it; they're just ignoring it. Oh yeah, that's that stuff. We're not going to deal with that.
yeah, I've done a lot of stamps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
And I get it, and I understand, and that's probably correct for the right court. But they're a for-profit corporation.
absolutely, yeah. They're all Duns and Bradstreet
Yeah,
on deck.
yeah. I just showed that in my video a couple videos ago. Yeah,
And
doing
I've put them on notice and many times.
right. Yeah,
But and I
yeah.
filed, you know, I didn't want to file any motions because I wasn't trying to move the court. But once it got to this point, I've filed, I don't know, 30 some more motions. I filed a lot of them. So I have a motions hearing, right? But I've been in contempt of court before too. So yeah, fun times. Um, Contempt for asking questions. It's a it's a crime.
Okay. So they detain you right there,
Mhm.
which I'm sure you're mortally embarrassed. Because now, the attention of the deceased is now focused upon you and all this circus going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they detain you. So there's two officers or more.
I believe I'd have to recollect. There was either just one, and then a second one came, or there was two initially.
Okay. Yeah.
I've tried to
You got to find all
not
that
think
out.
about that in a minute,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You need to find all that out.
I
Uh,
believe there was two, but they didn't have any cameras on, right? They weren't. There was none in the
he indicted
vehicle.
you yet?
I assume so. Yeah, yeah.
Zoom. So you don't even know if
I
he indicted.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've been indicted by a grand jury. When that happened or how that happened, who knows?
So you don't even have an account with the district clerk of your county to go look at your record? No.
Uh, man, I've been yeah, I've been in and out
That's
of
fine. Yeah, hey,
I've
listen.
been in and out of
You're in
jail,
the
man,
right place at the right time, talking to
and
the right person
and
because
it's
you're getting
been
all the right information like that.
yeah, it's been a
Oh,
yeah. I've
I
literally
can't
I
even
was like
imagine. It's a fucking nightmare.
yeah, I'm literally
It's
been
like you're in the
studying law
Halloween movie, except they're
for
letting you
3
live.
years.
Yeah.
hmm And I was like, great, let me just study law for the next 3 years.
Oh,
But I
it's
guess it's felt like it was like a almost the next initiation into spirituality because it kind of kind of full circle into making what I've achieved on that realm into a physical um
well, congratulations for that.
change. So that's kind of where I judge, and I think I'm doing a service transitioning all of this going forward. However, it doesn't make it any easier nor less real for the people around me and the people that it affects. And and yeah.
Yeah, it affects everybody around you in your immediate family, circle of friends. Yeah, because it's always weighing upon you. Yeah, I did that for a year, waiting to go to trial, facing 25 to 99 or life. I threw it all in. Crank it up. We're going to trial.
Man,
I didn't want to take that 10 years.
I don't blame you.
So, well, they made me do 14 years and 2 months flat.
Man, you did it all?
No, I get off in 2062. When I get off parole.
Oh, okay.
My entire goal, this whole journey, always from day one, is either get out of prison or get off parole. That's it. I don't care about the money, the trust, do not detain. I don't care about none of that. Freedom. I want my freedom back. I want to be able to move around, do what I want to do when I want to do it without having to answer to anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I do not like.
Uh-huh. Texas has a big, heavy boot. They don't play. Do not take probation. I'm sure you can probably do whatever they throw at you, but most people will tell you go if they give you 2 years in TDC, go do 2 years, you'll bounce out in 2 months on parole.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. First time offender, first time parole. Yeah, you'll be out in 90 days. You're probably PIA from the county, parole and absentee. Yeah, they don't even gonna
Yeah.
like little
Yeah,
small.
I mean, probation, I mean, I can jump through hoops, but at this point in my life, I don't do well with um another man telling me what to do.
Yeah. I totally get it. You'd rather
I
be
don't I
hard.
don't
You
tell
didn't do
other men
anything.
what to do, and I don't expect the same.
Right. Okay. So what on what the connection I'm trying to make is and how many officers were there is once they took you, once they detained you, and I don't even know if you knew to ask, am I in custody or not, or am I under arrest or not? Don't ever ask, am I under arrest? Always ask if you're in custody or being detained, because those are the two legal terminologies. This is for everybody else as well. That's what you want to know. So I'm trying to figure out is like they came over, at least one arrested you or detained you, and then how did they get from you back over to your car? And why would they even want to go even search your car once they had you in custody?
Yeah, so so there was two now that I think about it. And they brought me back up, and then they put me directly into the back of a
Reserve.
SUV,
Okay.
right? And then they were talking to everybody out there. There were no, they were pleading, obviously. And
What questions were, do you know any specific questions that they had asked any of the potential witnesses?
no, there was no one that, had any testimony or testified against to any type of, it was just like, by that point, they were just, nah, just headstrong on. They tried to get me to do a field sobriety, right? By that point, I mean, I do not assist and I do not resist. And they went and took a blood sample.
And what's the results on that?
It was positive for alcohol.
What was the BAC?
It was like I think it was like 1.6, maybe 0.16,
1.6,
0.16, 0.16. Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Which is no big deal if you're standing on your feet in your own house with the keys to your car in your pocket and your car down the street.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's public intoxication. That's it. That's not DWI. So they're going to have a hard time with that. Now, Do you remember if they had body cams?
So they they did, but there's no footage or nothing.
There has to be.
Well, I either they weren't on,
They weren't on.
right?
You file a complaint with the Internal Affairs Division. You have to do your paperwork. If you feel you've
Yeah,
been wronged, okay, and you've actually are actually innocent, that's the terminology, then you need to do your due diligence. And what you've done is
right.
sat back and you rested on your laurels and put full faith and credit into your clown that you had represent you back to the court. Okay, because
Yeah,
that's all
yeah,
that's going on in the court is a three-ring circus. It's the judge, the two opposing parties battling it out. And they just take turns putting the court jester uniform on and get up there and do their little dance and see who believe, waiting on the trier of fact to believe whoever has the best lies. And they'll tell you that straight out. Doesn't matter what the truth is. It's who puts on the best performance and the jury believes, or the trier of fact, which could be the judge. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
And I've tried to not do the judge. I've even recused him recently, but that didn't go over too well with
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I already
I'll
know.
I'll put all kinds of stuff in, and then I'm not sure how the recusal process fully goes, but um, I guess they contracted out to a judicial district judge themselves and then get a ruling.
There's a administrative regional judge that's
Hmm.
over that region who assigns all the judges. So if a presiding judge, i.e., an elected judge, or if he was appointed, he or she was appointed by the governor to replace somebody else who maybe died or retired or whatever, uh, when they are out for, let's say they're doing a massive capital murder trial for a serial killer in their courtroom, they'll take that trial to an ancillary courtroom, and then they'll bring in a visiting judge, which can be a retired judge or um, um, a former judge who was not reelected for their position. All they have to do is re-register and they can become a visiting judge, and they can, yeah, that's how they get back into it and make a racket. So when some of
Hmm.
these administrative regional judges lean one direction, like here in Montgomery County, Olin Underwood is the second administrative regional judge. He's conservative. So what he likes to do is pack the courts with retired conservative judges, because the Democrats are running everything. They're the ones that getting elected in there. So whenever he can, he puts these visiting Republican judges in there.
Mm,
Yeah, they
makes
play
sense.
like that. They play favorites.
Yeah, no,
I don't think they don't. So if you've got a
I'm
visiting judge, you want to get the appointment letter, the assignment from that judge's office. More likely than not, they won't give you one. That's another request. Oh yeah, I mean, all you're doing is just following the law.
I've put so many things on record, and I've put them on, the physical record, filing things in. I've said them on the record, right? I've filed things
So
on the public record.
you're not going and getting the facts. That's the problem. To base
Yeah,
your whole investigation to lodge a defense, and to be able to make a rational, logical, economical decision about, hey, how should I settle this matter? Should I just go in and cop out and take 2 years probation or 5 years probation and plea out for a misdemeanor DWI or a misdemeanor possession of drug paraphernalia, some little bullshit charge, just so they can get their little conviction and
right.
still put you under their thumb, but nothing too harsh on you that will give you any kind of blowback in the future. Because if you get
I
a
mean, they did
DWI,
offer me 2 years probation, right?
yeah,
However, I've been dealing with this for over 2 years and been on probation the whole time, right? I'll do the
right.
minimum and do it again, right? And
Uh-huh.
then everything that I did while I was on it, uh, and then I questioned it, And they were like, well, we just copy and paste. And I said, well, you're not going to copy and paste over my life, you know?
Right.
And then that's when I was, you know, challenging jurisdiction and doing different things because I was over it. And then they withdrew my attorney uh, because it would be beneficial for the court. And
Your counsel withdrew?
yeah,
Court appointed or retained?
retained.
On what grounds?
The court said that it would be in the best interest of the court. And I mean, I've objected to everything.
What?
Yeah. And
That's
and
judicial misconduct.
the judge was my
Disqualify your counsel.
attorney's attorney. And that was one of the reasons that I tried to recuse him as well because of this bias, right? After the fact that he showed me.
Recused himself. Yeah, he can't tell you you cannot have that counsel.
He denied my recusal.
Recused himself.
I know. He denied it and forwarded it to that judge. That just came back.
You need to file a complaint with the Commission on Judicial Conduct, Texas Commission on Judicial Conduct.
Yeah. I'm working on this for I've been working on this for day and night for
right
days.
Here, this little book right here, Texas Rules of Court,
right?
Volume 1 by West. It's got your state bar rules in it. Got your rules of disciplinary procedure. Let's see. Rules governing admission to the bar, Code of Judicial Conduct, rules of civil procedure, rules of evidence, rules of appellate procedure, Court of Criminal Appeals, miscellaneous rules and procedures, local rules of courts of appeals. So this has everything. Rules for removal or retirement of judges, rules of judicial administration. This is a book you need. You can go get you one of these. This is a 2010 for about $10.
Okay. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And if you can get one with forms, that's the one you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was looking for a book with, the annotated statutes.
That's Vernon's Annotated Statutes and Codes.
Okay.
Texas Annotated. That's a whole set. Basically, you want this book. That's the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. This also has the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure or Rules of Appellate Procedure, Texas Rules of Evidence, and parole laws. And this is produced by the Texas County and District Attorneys Association. And there's this book place in Austin that used to get these free. And if you're a prisoner, you could write and get them free. So I got their playbook every 2 years when they put this out. But I got the penal code. This is the Code of Criminal Procedure. So I got the layout of how they charge for crimes. Because all they're doing is just copying what's in the penal code. And they're not even copying all of it. But if you would have had a DWI prior to September 1st, 2005, it's not a felony DWI if you had two prior.
Heard.
No felony indictment in the state of Texas that I personally have read, and I've read dozens of them, from September 1st, 1994 to August 31st, 2005, is properly charged as a third-degree felony DWI. They're all Class B misdemeanors with 2 prior misdemeanor habitual enhancements under 1243B. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why they wouldn't let me win, because every DWI offender, every habitual felony, overturned, open the floodgates. Every one of them. Yeah. And they ain't gonna let that happen. Not in the state of Texas.
No, absolutely not.
That's why they keep slamming the door in my face everywhere I go. Like, oh, no. He's too right. Nope. Okay. So So how did they get to the car? I'm still at a loss with that. Did like somebody after you were in the back seat point out, go, hey, his car's down there? Did you see any of that?
Um, like I said, they saw me buy it earlier.
Okay. Let me ask
When I
you, of the people that you remember in the surrounding immediate area where you were detained and taken into custody in the cruiser SUV, the people that you could see from your purview,
Mhm.
did you give the names of those people and contact information to your attorney, and your attorney call them and do a sworn deposition for their encounter with law enforcement or what they knew or saw?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, you have to have all that. That should have been the
Right.
first thing that should have been done, because that's, you take their narrative, because now they have their story with their encounter with law enforcement. So that's going to put a different context on your whole story, because you only see it from one angle and you didn't see enough of it because you're detained into
Right.
custody. Yeah. It's all that other crap that was going on while you're sitting in the back seat, where they're searching your car, and how, I guess they came and took your car keys from you with your fob.
Yeah, I mean
I mean, obviously your car wasn't unlocked where they just like go over there and open it up and search it.
I don't think so, no.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what I'm trying to find this connection, because everything that you can knock off with fact, especially on
Right.
body cam footage, 911 call, police officer sworn statement, because you probably did not, but did you have a administrative license revocation hearing, ALR? Because you refused the FSST, right? And you had a positive BAC. So your license
Right.
ended, or, right? You got
Right.
the hearing. Did you waive your hearing?
I,
You don't know.
I just know that they um just suspended it.
Okay. Well, you were entitled to an ALR hearing. ALR hearings are important. If anybody out there gets a DWI, this is for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Demand an ALR hearing. Okay. If you have retained counsel, that's who's going to participate in that ALR hearing. Go
And he might
prepare.
have, yeah, but
Go prepare for the ALR hearing, just like you're preparing to go to trial. It's the same setting. You're going to get that officer on the stand under oath, and your attorney's going to ask him questions. If you're not present to direct your attorney's attention to things that specifically need to be addressed, your attorney's not going to do it, and they're going to slide through the testimony. So after that officer testifies, there's going to be a transcript of that proceeding produced. You can use that testimony to impeach the future testimony of that same officer, let's say 3 years later, when his memory's not so good.
right.
Okay. That's why you want that ALR hearing. So that's from my own
And I
experience.
believe I did get that
I,
because he did
yeah,
depose him.
yeah, I didn't attend mine. I let my attorney go do it, because I thought I had the world's best DWI attorney. Uh,
Yeah, right. Same.
yeah, you know, yeah, exactly.
Then I
And
just
in hindsight, I was like, man, I wish I'd have been there, man. He died. He should have just kept questioning, I'm so mad at myself for doing that.
mm,
So I'm giving everybody, great advice. I told y'all guys, when I'm at DWI, I'm an expert. I know, tell you exactly what to do.
yeah,
Now,
it's great advice.
standardized field sobriety test created by the PhD doctor. I forget her name. She has since refuted the three standardized field sobriety tests: the walk and turn, one leg stand, and the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. Most people don't even know what a horizontal gaze nystagmus is. Nystagmus is when your eyes shake involuntarily. I can make mine shake voluntarily, believe it or not. But I was locked up with a guy who had nystagmus, and every time you looked at him, his eyes were going all the time. It was like real freaky looking him in the eye.
Right,
Uh,
right.
but that's where they take the flashlight and they shine it over here, and then they shine over here. Now, my next question is, can you pass or fail a standardized field sobriety test? Can you fail it? Yes or no?
Guess the answer would be no if it's been thrown out.
Well, if you took one
Right.
and the officer said you failed it, and took you into custody because you failed it, you
Well,
got
I
in
at that point,
trial
right at
and said you
yeah,
failed. Can you
I
can you legally fail a standardized field sobriety test? Yes or no?
I mean legally yes,
No,
but not
no,
okay. Okay.
no,
Well, yeah, that
no,
no because
no,
of it's
no,
been overturned by the lady, right?
no,
3 times.
no.
Right.
That's not the answer either.
Okay. All right.
No,
And enlighten me then. There you
I'm going to enlighten everybody.
go.
Okay. All the tests do is provide, and this is the legal terminology,
Mm,
clues that you may have some type of adulterant in your system, possibly even have had a prior head injury or 5 that can cause nystagmus. Okay. Over the counter medications can cause nystagmus. There's a multitude of things that can cause nystagmus. You can naturally have nystagmus. Okay. That's why these are classified now as junk science. Okay. Because there could be a million different things wrong with you to do a 1-leg stand and a walk and turn. But nystagmus, that's a whole different thing. So whenever you see fail, because that that's what they said I did. I failed the horizontal gaze nystagmus. But I'm at the scene. Okay. I refused every field sobriety test. Denied. Or no, refused. BA blood test, refused. Breath test, refused. Well, I'm gonna have to take you into custody, Mr. Tarvin. All right, well, let's go. I was gonna make him prove that I was intoxicated. That was my stance. I'm gonna go ride this out, spend the night in jail, get bonded out, and make him prove it. Well, I get to the central intox to do my video in front of this other officer, and I'm actually on video stating, I refuse to participate in motor skills tests on the advice of my attorney. Well, who's your attorney, Mr. Tarvin? Larry Glenn Longer. Oh, okay. Well, I invoke my right to counsel. All interrogation must cease at that point. Well, apparently, after all that went down at the scene, the ride downtown, the video, and then when we walked out in the hallway where there are no cameras, I just finally gave up and said, you know what? I'm going to just take that field sobriety test. Maybe y'all will let me go now. That's what he testified to. So when he's testifying 63 degrees to the right and 94 degrees to the left, and I'm like sitting there listening, my attorney's not even paying attention. I'm like, what the hell is this dude talking about? All these degrees of what? And I'm just puzzled. I have no idea what he's talking about. And he starts, they're talking about the field sobriety test. And I'm like, the fuck are they talking about? I didn't take no test. I'm like, hey, object to this. And he's like, object to what? I'm like, they're saying I took some test. He goes, well, did you? I looked at him. I was like, dude, I didn't take no test. Come on, man, stand up and object. He stands up. I swear to God, I object, Your Honor. On what grounds? My client tells me that he didn't take these tests. District Attorney. Well, if Mr. Wilhite would have looked in the state's file, he would have known that this officer would have testimony of this nature. What? What do you mean? I'm like in a tennis match watching my life go. Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? What? He has been disbarred. He never looked in the state's file. Actually didn't do his homework at all. He was off in Cancun doing cocaine with another couple, spending all my money. That's what happened to my attorney that I put all my faith in. So basically, the DA vouched for the credibility of the witness to convict me. Just like you are encountering just a tragedy of events that one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. But yeah, that's what happened to me. And they give you a DIC 23, 24, and 25 form. when you get booked, when you do your statutory warning and get your ALR hearing, all that stuff. That's what your paperwork are. So on my copy, I'm looking at my copy and there's no notes on it. But over here at the state's copy, there's some handwritten notes on it from this officer. So I'm like, what? Well, I don't have a copy of that. So we get a copy. I'm looking at it and it's got all these little notes written on the back, but not on my copy, only on his copy. It obviously, he made the whole thing up. That's how they roll. Honest to God's truth. Russell W. Rudy, HPD officer, you're a liar. Big fat liar. Absolutely. And to let you know, I have a Lexus sitting out here in the garage with a title that's in my trust, worth at least 10 grand. Any person who can take my trial record and prove I committed a third-degree felony in the state of Texas on that date, pursuant to Section 4909E of the Texas Penal Code, I will sign my title over to you free and clear. I put my money where my mouth is. Absolutely. And nobody has taken me up on that challenge, and they can't. That's how assured I am of my own destiny when it comes to law and DWI in Texas. But I want to help you, and I want to get you out of this jam free and clear. I don't want you to have to take 2 years probation. So the first thing you can do is go get those 3 items: body cam, 911 report, police officer sworn statement they originally wrote out with his own handwriting. And then you want to get as many affidavits as you can from all the potential witnesses or witnesses that the police interviewed right after you were detained, taken into custody. And just, you can feel them out. Just call them and say, hey, do you remember what kind of questions they asked you? Anything specific, general, to get you kind of pointing in the right direction. Oh no, they really talked to Barbara. Barbara told them blah, 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 blah. Then you would know, hey, I need to call Barbara. Barbara's got the whole thing. She talked to him for 15 minutes, according to everybody else. You follow me?
Yeah.
So you've got to track that down. I would try to build the best case that you could, either for or against yourself. Actually, both. Build their case as well as your case. Then you know what they have. That's your best offense, is build a case against yourself. A lot of people don't do that. They don't want to do it because they don't want to find themselves guilty. Damn, I did.
I have built some of it, and I have not found a lot of the elements that supported it, in various ones, especially so
what you need to do is build up a file of factual evidence. Okay.
Right.
Irrefutable. You present it to a jury's like, oh yeah, 100% face value. Then you need to sit down with the assistant district attorney, just you, one-on-one, whatever that looks like. If it's in court, outside of court, on a bench, in their office, whatever, and say, look, you got this charge, bam. We're going to make it go away at trial. Okay. Boom. Here, this is on this. I'm going to make that go away at trial. You know it. We crank this up. I don't want to go to trial. You don't want to go to trial. You plea bargain everything. Right? So if you can whittle that down to something you can live with, a misdemeanor, time served, 3 or 4 or 5 days jail, whatever, $1,000 fine, 8 hours community service, whatever, something you can digest, live with, eat, move on with your life. And something they can.
I mean, that's definitely, I'm definitely willing to do something like that potentially.
But you have to have, the firepower to back it up.
Right.
Yeah. You can't go in there, blanks.
So I'm at this point, right, where I still haven't plead. the last contempt of court charge, right, that I had, where I was sent to jail, wrote a writ of habeas corpus, got out, um, ended up in a hearing. The judge had entered a plea for me, right, and then I'm just getting thrown with presumptions and no proof, and it's just, and then the judge just convicts, right? So I mean, that's kind of what I'm dealing with, is how do I win on something that is
Well,
uh
you have to level the playing field with their toys and their sandbox.
right, and I'm
The judge cannot make you. He way overstepped his authority, ordering your counsel to withdraw. He cannot do that. He has to recuse himself and get another judge to replace him if he's got
well,
the issue.
well, the thing is, there was a sitting judge, um when this all happened. Actually was not there. And then the other thing was, I had my misdemeanor cases in a lower court,
Hold on.
and I had
Sitting judge. What do you mean?
I had
The elected
there was there
presiding
was
judge?
this there was some presiding judge, right? Because he was out on whatever business.
Okay.
But the misdemeanor cases, which was the evading and the resisting, right, were they were in a lower court,
Right.
okay,
Probably
with a
justice of the
different
peace
judge.
or
And
county
I
law.
gave them a run for their money, to the point that that judge ordered my all of my cases to him. And now I've been dealing strictly with him, which is all reasons why I've been,
What is that?
trying to get more of
Is
a
that a
fair,
county court of law?
yeah,
County court of
county
law.
criminal, yeah.
Okay. Well, because you have the district court,
Hmm.
and then you have county courts at law, and then justice of the peace courts.
Yeah, it's a county court of law.
County court of law. Okay, that's who handles misdemeanors as well as JP. Um, okay, well, that's not a bad thing. Then that they've dropped everything down to a misdemeanor because they can't try a felony in a county court of law.
Well, no, that was just the evading
Those
and the
two.
resisting, right?
Oh, I thought you said he
They
pulled
had
all of
never
them.
they had never supposedly, this cartridge that was,
If they tested it,
well, the thing is, when I had my attorney, he was like, "This is the weirdest thing." He was like, they're not they're not producing anything. They don't have anything. We haven't even heard anything about this, for over two. He said at the plea point, he was like, the prosecutor was like, I haven't received anything about it, and so nor have I seen anything from it, because that police station shut down.
oh,
Yet, when I started putting all this
they
stuff,
defunded the
um,
police
it
for
was,
real.
yeah, it was some smaller, yeah, and whatever happened, oh,
No way.
whatever happened is then they threw this on me, right? Because and they did it while, get this, why they threw me in contempt of court, right? They said they lost my medical questionnaire, and then yeah, and an officer who, and I'm very peaceful. I come in peace. Like, I get the process. Like, it is what it is.
Right.
Go with the flow. It's not that bad. It's like second grade boys camp, but with actually, a lot of beautiful individuals. Anyways, so I get forced in this machine. I actually get injured right at that point. Did file a complaint, did file this and that. Anyways, that officer threw me into a cell, put full suicidal on my thing, which I've never been a day in my life, nor ever thought, right? Then they put me directly, with no phone call, for those 9 days into a solitary confinement for 24 hours a day, no phone call, no like absolutely just all I had to write a writ of habeas corpus to get out, and then it was the whole thing was a travesty, which I put them on notice, right? I put a bunch of notices about all of that mistreatment that had happened, and I mean, and then telling my parents ex parte, that I was suicidal, and then changing court dates from and putting me in before my said times by like an hour, and then when people are showing up to my court date, oh, he's already been, so not allowing. It's just been it's been an absolute it's made me want to handle my affairs more than ever before, and so yeah. And so now, I've surrendered licenses, surrendered titles, um, created trusts, DBA, names. I've done
You surrender
every
your license on the private
process I
and
could think
public side?
of. Huh?
Did you surrender your license on the public and private side?
Uh, I mean, I sent a letter with all to multiple different people. Um,
All you
like
got to do is use their form for the public side,
yeah,
and then an affidavit
yeah.
side.
I had a different form, and then I used their exact wording of their form, and then I put, you know, it surrendered, and then I also had another really in-depth reason on why, and uh,
It, it,
which was a surrendering in and of itself.
yeah, reasons don't matter. Uh, I I did this personally, and I'm the one. Well, not Jesse discovered it, but we did it basically together unknowingly.
Mhm.
I did it on the private side because I did it. I took their DL 174, which is the public's form for the DPS to surrender license, and I
Right.
created an affidavit and I sent that in. And I thought, okay, well, that's a wrap. Jesse did it right after me. He gets pulled over, and the cops are like, "Hey, shit, dude, you got a license?" He's like, "What? No, I surrendered it. Here's my surrender papers." Like, oh,
Mm.
it's right here. It's in the computer. Jesse's baffled, gets a ticket,
Right.
calls me up, like, "Hey, man, I just got a ticket." I'm like, "Okay, well, what's up with that?" He goes, he goes, "But I have a license." And he tells me the story. I go, "Okay, well, what are you going to do?" He goes, "Well, I'm going to DPS." So he went to DPS, walked in, told her the whole story. And she goes, "Oh, well, you need to do this form over here, do it on this side." He's like, "What?"
Mm.
So she goes and gets the DL 174, hands it to him. And he goes, "Just fill it out and hand it to you." She goes, "Yeah." So he filled it out, hand it to her. She signed it. He goes, "Is that it?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "So I don't have a license anymore on that side and that side." And he didn't say public or private, but they knew what they were talking about. And she said, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Uh, so I went to the DPS in Austin, their main compound, went there, interviewed with a supervisor, and made damn sure. I said, "Okay, I've already surrendered it on the private side. You see that, right?" He's like, "Yep, I see that." I said, "Boom, here's my DL 174 surrendered on the public side, right?" He's like, "Yep." It's like, "Good, close it out." So close it out. I go, "I have no accounts with the Texas Department of Public Safety or the state of Texas in that database, right?" "Correct." "Thank you. Have a nice day." That's how I handle
Okay. Well, yeah, I might have to look into that.
it. It's
I did
yeah,
a couple. I mean,
that's a
I
thing.
probably, yeah, I mean, I made sure my voting was good. I mean, I've got passport with you know, all the bells and whistles. Um, and then I got a DOT number, right? I've switched over to doing like basically, foreign driver's license with
You have DOT plates?
Yeah, yeah, got all that. Yeah,
You're running DOT
private and
plates on your
DOT.
car?
Hmm.
No issues?
Um, I haven't. I'm not driving that much right now. I literally my my vehicle. Another thing. My Smart Start on my device. The handset, right, was a malfunction of the head unit, right, and I called them and I was like, hey, telling them all of my issues that I was having. They're like, yeah, it's a malfunction, on our end. I said, okay, cool. Well, I have court, this Friday, and that's when they sent me for that contempt for recording allegedly, and then stole my phone, $1,250 phone. Still haven't got that back because they said I was recording. I said, well, prove it. And they said
Who's they?
the judge, the prosecutor, all of them, they just were all presumptions. And then
Who
the
confiscated your phone?
whoever the
A bailiff?
the bailiff, you know,
Is that a
and then
county sheriff or a constable or a marshal?
the bailiff, and then somebody came and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna look over your phone, blah blah blah." And I said, "Prove I was recording."
Right, but they have to
You
give you
know?
a receipt for it. There has to be a chain of custody for that phone.
No, no.
Then you need to
I've asked,
then you need to file theft charges.
I've asked for,
Due diligence.
and the thing is, like, and then I'm like, okay, well, so I don't have a phone, right? And then I couldn't use my vehicle, and then I got locked out because they put me in contempt of court for that, right? And then when I get out, right, and I start to handle this stuff, I still haven't, you know, I still don't have a phone. So I can't call for my drug test. I can't I couldn't get my car fixed,
These are all
right?
conditions of your bond.
These are all conditions, right? Which is um which put me, which I'm not, I'm paid up, right, on everything. And then I'm, I just got my car finally working with a new headset and unit, and put all them, I put insurance claims in for, Smart Start to help me out. I've communicated, to not be willfully whatever. And so, but then they threw a capias warrant, right? um Even though I have court on Friday. Nord told me that once he got able to do something, then he capias warrants me, and then but I have court on Friday. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm about to see you. So I've shown up for everything. I've done everything, you know, to the best of my ability. I'm current on.
Wow.
So yeah, so like I said, they'll probably try to put me back in, but I mean, I have, it's a shitty vacation. So
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, you need to take care of those three things ASAP,
yeah,
even
yeah,
if you have
no,
to go there in person. And that's what I would recommend is go there in person.
and
You
that's just to the clerk.
the public information officer for the rest of
Yeah.
the agency because you want the body cams, you want that footage.
Hmm.
Take a FOIA request with you, a written one, just in case.
Yeah.
Same thing with the 911 call.
Okay.
And you want the police officer's sworn statement, handwritten statement.
Can I put that all in one for you?
If the yeah, yeah, you can put it all in one FOIA and give it to different agencies.
Okay.
If they may be the same, I don't know. We're not talking about those circumstances.
Right, right, right. And then
Oh,
yeah.
you need to determine what it sounds to me like they sent the cartridge off, or maybe not even sent it off to a lab. Because generally they'll send that to the DPS lab in Austin for them to do the test on it, gas chromatography, mass spectrometry test.
Right.
Uh, because they just don't have the capabilities in some of these smaller towns.
And it's
Even
such a small, supposed amount that it's like, I was hearing that they were having a lot of issues actually being able to test that amount.
yeah, yeah. It's once they test it, it's gone.
Right.
It's a
So it's
wrap.
like, and which
Yeah,
is just,
here in Harris County, I mean, literally, you can be smoking a joint, get pulled over, and they're not even going to arrest you for it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, Houston, Austin, kind of more down south, they're a little bit more copacetic.
Yeah, nuts. Um, okay. Yeah, once you acquire those things you want, give me a call back on after your court Friday and let me know how that went.
Yeah, supposedly it's a motions hearing. So, but a motion hearing always ends up, I mean, I don't know, being turned into
A circus?
yeah, or a plea hearing. And I would hope they'd be separate and allow me to prepare for things, but they haven't been very accommodating.
Well, you have a little bit more ammunition now than you had prior to tonight.
Yeah, and I plan to get a lot of this discovery and stuff. They were only allowing me to go with a prosecutor or with a so they put a head detective into this case. They've been adding people just to just onto because I've been somewhat exposing and putting things on notice and trying to get things
Well,
uh
let's do another video after you go to court Friday, and let's dig into your clerk's record and see what that looks like.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as I'm out. Hopefully I'll be
Yeah. I mean, you don't even know what's in there. So it'll be, be like Christmas in August.
yeah, exactly.
Not.
But
Okay. Any questions that you have or anything that you can think of, or you want to pick my brain or
I mean, I sent you an email on that TSD. Um, it's just I've been gathering a bunch of different um, actions on bond information, and supposedly my bond is revoked at the current conjecture. I don't want to give a lot of my
right. Since
you
there's,
know
yeah.
exactly what I'm gonna about to do or things that I'm doing,
Okay.
but um
We can talk off record.
yeah, but yeah, we can go keep pushing the envelope here. Thank you for helping me. I appreciate your time. I
Yeah.
really like how you had things formatted, and I've had a lot of mentors and a lot of people that I've been studying for since now I've been
Right.
studying this for.
I've
It's
been there. I mean, I've been
you're
in the
definitely
worst of the worst sewer.
on point there in a lot of ways. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm just give it to you straight real from my own experience or, firsthand encounters.
right, and the right to face my accuser, which who is it? There isn't one.
Yeah. Well, that's what you need to get
And
down to that
and
911 call.
and who's the victim?
911 call. That's where it
Right,
all starts. Well, who's the victim? Where's the probable cause? What instigated this whole thing? How did I get pinpointed out at this big lot with this property on it, with all these people mingling on it and all these cars outside? How did I get pinpointed? That's
right.
what you need to know.
And I filed for FOIA requests and oath of offices and bonds and all kinds of stuff from all the different people that are involved. And I mean, they have not given me anything.
Fighting you and ignoring you and
I mean,
misdirection the entire
at
way.
this point, I mean, I don't know if I just start, default judgments on all these things that I've been doing, but
Yeah, if you want to do the administrative process, let me know. I'm also a notary here in, say, Texas.
Nice.
Notary presentments, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been doing quite a bit of I've been doing online notaries lately because it's been the easiest way.
Right. Yeah.
I got some stuff I gotta notarize before Friday. So
Yeah, hit me up. Do Zoom.
yeah,
Get you taken care of.
yeah, that's fine. I got you. Well, thank you for helping me. We can talk after this or offline or
Yeah,
whatever.
just give me a call. Give me a
Okay.
call me in like 30 minutes. I don't know how late you stay up.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm not going to be up late. I've got to get up at 6 again and go do class.
yeah. Yeah, all right. You want to just email me your number or give it to me? I don't think I have it. Maybe it's on the, 100.
Yeah, no biggie.
Got it. Handled.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being on here. And this actually didn't quite go as a traditional DWI intake would go. Um, normally, I didn't know he had prior retained counsel, so that would have been one of the first vetting questions done on the phone when your initial contact. We would have instructed you to contact your attorney, get that file, and bring that file with you, or have it forwarded to our office. That way, we already have it and we can read it before you even come in. You follow me?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how the dynamics of that would have totally changed.
You think the best thing to do is to give just email or call?
I would do both.
Okay. Okay.
Email them and talk to the office manager and say, hey, I have to have this. How do I, do you want to fax it to me? You want to email it to me? Telegram? Do I need to come pick it up? What does that look like? They'll work with you. They don't want to get in trouble with the state bar. They don't want any complaints.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, nine times out of 10, they're going to win anyway, but
Want to be good agents of nobility.
yeah,
Got
absolutely.
it.
All right. Well, anything else I can help you with, just hit me up and we'll address it. And hopefully we'll get a video done over the weekend, if not into next week. Actually in 12 days. 12 days, I'll be in Puerto Rico.
Nice. My sister just got back.
Yeah, for 3 weeks.
It was some beautiful scenery. Absolutely stunning scenery.
So you've been there, huh?
Well, my sister just got back, and
Oh,
her
really?
her boyfriend actually is from there, and
Oh,
so they travel back and forth, and he but yeah, I saw pictures, and I know it's like maybe the only still common law place to get married to, from what I hear.
I'm
But
gonna go inspect the whole place.
yeah,
3 weeks with 2 backpacks.
nice,
Yeah.
nice.
And I'm gonna go hang out with the kids in the hostels that from
Oh,
all
cool.
over the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'm gonna go dive right in, just like I'm 19.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah, I'll be like, damn, come on, grandpa.
I was planning on moving out of the country before this, but
Are you?
for just foreign business, but now, I've been here.
Right. Yeah, I'm be
I
looking.
love Texas. So
I'm Houston sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, I like to have freaking stroke driving home at 5 o'clock traffic. I hate traffic. Ugh, that's why I got to get up so early so I can beat it because I hate
Mm,
it.
heard, heard.
All right, man. Thank you very
Well,
much for
yeah,
being
yeah.
here. And
All right.
good luck on your trial Friday. If I don't talk to you soon, Matt.
Just a hearing of.
Hey, you never know what can happen, man. You can go in, uh, have your own trial, do your own plea bargain, go in there. It's like, man, do
I've
some
been trying to conditionally accept, but
right.
and then I've been trying to do things in the private and public. And like, no, this is public. I'm like, all right.
Okay. Well, this video is going to be published tomorrow for my noon show.
Right.
So it'll debut. So if you want to jump on and watch it noon central and participate in the comments,
Okay, nice. Looking
I'll
forward to
premiere it. And
at high noon. Gotcha.
yeah, and if I get a chance, I'll jump on as well. I don't know what that's going to look like tomorrow
Okay.
at noon when it debuts. Like today, I could have jumped on, but I'd already had something pre-recorded. All right. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you,
Yep,
everybody,
yep.
and good luck Friday.
All right. Bye for now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Appreciate you guys. Yep.
And there you have it. I appreciate you, everybody, for being here. As always, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. If you have anything on Texas DWI or can add to that particular case, leave a comment below, or you can email me at thefearlessfloydshow@yahoo.com. You can go to my website, thefearlessfloydshow.com. You know, we got these books for sale, these trust books over here. You can see the glare. There we go. And LeFlore on Trust, 2 volumes. Right here, second edition. Get 2 of these, $259 soft cover, ebook $249. You can get both for $259 at the fearlessfloydshow.com website in the store. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. And I will see you Friday at high noon.